It's the Union that get the action underway. It is a career-defining day, potentially. Memories will be made, legacies will be left. It has been quite a season already for LAFC and the Philadelphia Union, both striving to seize the chance to make it an unforgettable one. A new champion waiting to be crowned in Major League Soccer. Those home fans, Matt Jackson, could have a big part to play today.
Yes, they will, because they certainly give their side that brilliant support, but they also add a certain pressure as well. I definitely think there is a home advantage here, however. Philadelphia, for all that quality they've had, would definitely have chosen their own stadium to play in had they had that choice. But this is what it is. They know the rules when they start the season. Despite that better goal difference, more goals scored, it comes down to the games won. They have to come and perform here again today. They've been great. I fear a little bit for the side that loses here today, just the fact that it's such a new experience for both of them. They both think we're that one step closer, and the side that loses is going to take it really badly.
One team will have their dreams dashed, that is for sure. Tantalisingly close to the trophy. LAFC looking to launch their first attack of the game. Carlos Vela was in the move. It went the other way, though. Put out by Jack Elliott. Won back well by Denny Buanga to Carlos Vela as the designated players combine for LAFC. Vela, their first ever designated player in the summer of 2017. Hadn't even started playing in Major League Soccer until the following year. Vela signed up for the project to try and build something. Today could be the crowning glory.
Yeah, it'd be fitting for him if that was the case. You expect him to play a big part. The best players generally find a way to come to the fore. It will be very interesting to see exactly what his future lies. He seems such an integral part of this franchise, doesn't he?
He's been the face of it, really, hasn't he, ever since that signing. A few nerves at the back from the Union here, maybe. The referee has let play continue. It's flashed well wide in the end by Cifuentes. Ishmael Elfath in charge today, the MLS referee of the year.
Yeah, trying to consult with his linesman as to whether this was given, and this is not the greatest of tackles either. Could have brought that one back for a yellow card, and was there a little deflection for a corner? Couldn't quite work it out for themselves, but one or two nerves from Philly. You don't want to change the way that you play, but you certainly don't want to give any impetus to the opposition either, and they've been a bit sloppy with their passing in this opening
Notoriously difficult to play against. Tim Curtin says that is the ultimate compliment, that they can be paid, and they were by Steve Cherundolo in the pre-match build-up, of which there has been press conference after press conference, of course, in downtown LA over the last few days. The Union have been in the City of Angels since Tuesday. First training session was held on Wednesday morning in the countdown to the conclusion of the campaign today. Still trying to settle into their stride. Ilya with the touch, but there is a flag up on that far side. The Union are the top scorers in Major League Soccer this season, but they also have the best defensive record. And there is Ishmael Elfath, overseeing his first MLS Cup after a decade of service in the league, and afterwards he'll be heading to Qatar as only the 8th American to referee at the World Cup. Drew Fisher, by the way, on VAR duty for this final, as he was 2 years ago in Columbus. First experience of the final for these two teams. There is nobody out on the field that has ever played in one before. LAFC do have a player in reserve in Franco Escobar, who scored for Atlanta United in the final in 2018, but experience of this championship game is very thin on the ground. Glesnes, the MLS Defender of the Year, putting it on towards Carranza, who couldn't make it stick.
Yeah, just can't get passes in at the moment. Philadelphia need a little spell of possession to settle everybody down due to the press from LAFC.
Right change here. Carranza did collect it initially, Mikalua then taking over. Now Leon Flock. From Gazdag to Martinez. Better little spell from Philadelphia. 5 minutes into the final, Baizo with a space to deliver the cross. And it's turned behind at the expense of the corner.
Yeah, and he might be asking why nobody's going in there. It's a great cross. There's Jim Curtin just showing that experience. Now we can settle, move up the pitch. Always portrays a certain calm in himself, but I know what a big occasion this is for him. But that was an unbelievable ball into the 6-yard box, a dangerous area. Slightly unnecessary corner conceded in the end.
.52 behind that goal, making all of the noise. But they will be a little concerned as Kai Wagner sizes up the corner kick. Philadelphia, such a threat from set pieces all season long. Fuentes should be able to bring this clear. Keeps his feet. Carranza snapping at his heels. He's covered good ground though, has the Ecuadorian. Needed to stop him. We'll get the decision as well, get the throw at the end of it. One player who could well be heading to Europe after this. Jose Cifuentes has been attracting interest from the English Premier League. Quite the first season in charge for Steve Cherundolo, looking to become the first MLS coach to win both the Supporters' Shield and MLS Cup in his first year at the helm. Spent last season in the USL Championship guiding their affiliate side, the Las Vegas Lights. Even at the start of this year, he was still preparing for another season at that level before getting the job when Bob Bradley, their only previous coach through the first 4 years of their MLS history, decided to move on to Toronto. Cherundolo just missing out to Jim Curtin for Coach of the Year. Both leading their team to their respective conference titles. Both being tipped as potential future coaches of the US national team.
Yeah, both seem a very good fit for that, don't they? And I'm sure at some point they would like to test themselves. Would certainly like to be rewarded for their efforts here today, though. Both been excellent all season, certainly in the way that they've set their teams up to play. Two really entertaining teams. Consistency, obviously the benchmark of any successful side as well. In a way, it's a shame that they will feel their seasons will be defined by the outcome here today.
Small margins. Season to be decided. On-off pressure on this showpiece occasion. Much in it in the early stages. They finished level on points, just to remind you, in the regular season. Their last 3 meetings have all been draw, including here back in May. It finished 2-2. Bank of California Stadium. The Union, one of just 4 clubs actually to take points from LAFC at Bank of California Stadium this season. The only one from the Eastern Conference. In the penalty area here. This didn't come quickly enough. There has been some signing. Those are arriving initially on loan from Inter Miami. That move made permanent during the course of the summer. 14 goals he managed in the regular season. Star names wherever you look, though, including notably on the LAFC bench. Chiellini came off at half-time against Austin in the conference final and begins on the bench today. Gareth Bale is also amongst the substitutes, so too Christian Teo, ex of Barcelona. All 3 were brought in during the course of the summer. And they added some star names to the mix because LAFC in the off-season at the end of last year, having missed out on the playoffs, opted, didn't they, for MLS experience, bringing in the likes of Crepo and Kellen Acosta, Ryan Hollingshead. Over 1,000 games of MLS experience were added to this squad, and you can see the difference that it's made.
Yes, unfortunately it also comes at a cost, doesn't it? And when you see the rosters get published and what it costs, you realise what a good job Jim Curtin and his administration team do. And it's not easy to do. It's not easy to keep doing that year after year, to keep strengthening, sell the right players, reinvest. Obviously we know what a great job they do bringing players through the academy structure that they have. But it's tough to continue doing, and it's tiring continuing to do it as well. When you see other teams just go and spend, it does make it more difficult.
An incredible success story for the way that they've done it. Picking up bargains from clubs all over the world and then developing their own and their academy. Under a little bit of pressure here, Carlos Vela. Rango. King with Carlos Vela. His first sight of goal of the game. The captain was close.
Surely this comes off Martinez. They can't believe it themselves. Vela, I think by the way the ball dips, you can tell that it's been Steve Cherundolo saying that's two that you've not given us there. This is a little bit slack on the defender. You've got to track Vela. Surely that's deflected over the top with a bit of dip. Yeah, that's one in big occasions that officials shouldn't be getting wrong.
Off the left foot of Jose Martinez, wasn't it? Carlos Vela was convinced immediately, but didn't get the decision. There is Martinez, one of those barking buys that I mentioned, who announced his arrival actually in Major League Soccer. The debut here in a 3-3 draw back in 2020. March of that year, it was the last game played in MLS before the league closed down because of the pandemic. Union, once the season resumed, went on to win the Supporters' Shield, the first trophy in their history that they are attempting to add to today. The Shield won twice in the last 4 years by LAFC. Were involved in a final that year as well in the CONCACAF Champions League. Beaten in that final, looking to go one better today. Both of these clubs having already qualified for next season's Champions League as a result of making this final. Philadelphia doing so, just to put into perspective the success of their model, the second lowest wage bill in the whole of Major League Soccer. It was released recently by the MLS Players Association. Lorenzo Insigne at Toronto, who finished second bottom of the Eastern Conference, paid more per year than the Union's entire squad put together. Done by Jim Curtin and Ernst Tanner, the sporting director, drawing admiring glances, not just as a model in MLS, but from clubs all across the world, really. It's in some contrast to the way that LAFC have done it, but as Don Garber made the point in his State of the League address on Thursday, the beauty of this league is there are more than one ways to earn success. Direct opposition today.
Yes, in a way it's the perfect contrast, isn't it? East and West, and Philadelphia very much blue collar to go alongside the glitz and glamour of an LA lifestyle. Big contrasts, not so much difference actually on the field of play, and certainly nothing in this opening quarter of an hour or so really to split the two teams.
There for Jack McGlynn, the teenager, deputising for Bedoya. The challenge there was on Ryan Hollingshead from Jack Elliott.
Yeah, and he should know, Jack Elliott, at this point, he's going to pick up a needless booking, because he should know that he's not getting to this, even with his long legs standing well over 6 foot. Listed some areas at 6'6". We see him at this point. You know you're not getting to that ball. It just puts you under pressure for the rest of the game. Could have just run alongside Hollingshead there. He wasn't going anywhere, stretching to get that ball. Just the first little bit of pressure on the big centre-back.
Makes his job that much tougher from here. What a signing he's been, though, for the Union. Picked 77th in the Super Draft in 2017, and now one of the standout centre-backs in this league, alongside the Defender of the Year, Jacob Glesnes. Might have some work to do here, all in a line, awaiting the delivery from Carlitos. And to take Andre Blake to come and make it his. He was another Super Draft pick 8 years ago now.
Yeah, what a good professional he is. Perfect situation for him with that athleticism he has, the discipline in that back line. Start high, give your goalkeeper a chance to come, and he will always try and take responsibility when he can.
Key players wherever you look today. Two settled sides during the post-season pressure.
Got to feel a bit for Bedoya as well, haven't you? We talk about the quality throughout both sides. He's been a really good representation as a skipper for Philadelphia, and a real shame for him to be missing out on this showpiece occasion.
Martinez to have a go ambitiously, as it turned out. But yeah, Bedoya was touch and go. Decision was only made after training yesterday. Fit enough to feature on the bench, having come off at half-time in the previous round. Martinez would be an unlikely goal scorer. He's never got one in Major League Soccer.
Not surprised with decisions like that. That would have been something very special to get off the mark with.
Well, LAFC won 13 home games in the regular season in front of those fans, more than any other. The Union were next, actually, with 12. Including these playoffs, LAFC have won 11 of their last 12 games at this stadium. Only defeat against Nashville on decision day, when they'd already won the Supporters' Shield. It's Palacios, the left back, with their Ecuadorian contingent, who will be heading to the World Cup after this. One of an anticipated 40 players from Major League Soccer set to represent their countries in Qatar. Glynn with a challenge on it. Mango was the target. He couldn't quite reach it, but get him the service and he will score. He's proved that ever since his arrival in this league in the summer of last year. Was last season's newcomer of the year. He scored 20 more goals than any other LAFC player since he signed. 16 in his last 23 matches. Nominees for MVP this year. Lesnes forward. That was an isolated target, really, in the middle. Challenge on Daniel Gazdag ensured that the cross didn't come. Ibiaga, the one getting his opportunity at the back, was well down the pecking order at centre-back earlier in the season.
Yeah, he sees the sort of signings that get made, Chiellini and the likes coming in. I'm not necessarily sure he'd have been thinking he was going to play in the showpiece occasion, but he is. We know what he brings, though. He's athletic and he's got that big heart, and he'll always make tackles. Certainly not the worst one to be in there. Earns his place on merit.
Joined from last season's champions, NYCFC, last year. Made that move over the course of the previous summer. Up alongside Jesus Murillo. He's the third different centre-back partner that Murillo has had in these 3 playoff games this year. Segura now sidelined. Baizo with the throw. He's won back his regular role at right back ahead of Nathan Harriel. Displaced him at the start of the season. Kai Wagner lofting it forward threateningly.
Cage, isn't it? Both sides set up same formations, 4-3-3, going against each other. Sort of negated each other. You would say territorially, LAFC have probably just about shaded it. Looks slightly more comfortable, but certainly hasn't led to creating a load of chances. And actually, the longer Philly stay in the game, the more it probably suits them that that's the case.
Started fairly sluggishly against NYCFC last time out before turning on the style. In here by Baizo towards Mikelua. They're trying to prevent the concession of the corner.
Good ball in, whipped ball with pace. Good defending, but you've got no control over where it's going. Ibiaga again, talk about what a good competitor he is. He's so good at getting first contact with those entries into the box. Does concede the corner though.
And it will be Kai Wagner to take it. 15 assists during the regular season, a record from an MLS defender. Delivers this one in low towards Glesnes, back to Wagner again. Delivers really dangerously this time. Crepo came and didn't get to it. Isn't made to pay. It's over and well wide in the end by Olivier Baizo.
Yeah, trying to play it cool, the goalkeeper, but he knows was nowhere near this. First one's difficult. It's inhibited actually over that far side by the photographers being so close. As we see, this is a fantastic ball, whipped away across that 6-yard box. It's a struggle for Crepo. Very often, though, just by coming, you put enough players off as the goalkeeper. As we'll see here, this ball gets whipped back. Such a good left foot, Wagner. Really not one the goalkeeper can come for. Defenders get him out of trouble.
So another in the Union side who has never scored an MLS goal, who are much more of a threat. This will fall favourably at his feet, but Ibeagha ensured that the shot didn't come. It's a crucial challenge. Costa, Arango, Here's Sanchez to Cifuentes. Back to his captain Carlos Vela, 20 minutes in MLS Cup. Just over the head of Buanga. Will keep it in. So with him. Big impression in the postseason has Denis Buanga since that signing from Saint-Etienne on a DP deal, but the decision here has gone against him.
Yeah, he didn't like it, but it's a little bit naive. Okay, you've got a defender under pressure, just don't give referee an easy option. So we see the half chance, just pace really, can't get the ball out of his feet. Strikes it up against Ibeagha, defending very well. Whoever it was with the attempted shot.
Kalua brought in as their record signing at the start of the season. Philadelphia have spent big by their standards, even though they are amongst the most stringent budgets in this league. Brought in from Brøndby in Denmark for about $2.8 million. It's the most in a transfer fee that they have spent on anybody. There goes Arango. This is Murillo. Elias Sanchez has been a really important addition, hasn't he, after those 5 years with Sporting Kansas City. Drafted in as a free agent. He's the one that really sets the tempo in the LAFC midfield.
Yeah, he's exactly the type of player that will regard this as just another game to be played, rather than a big occasion that he has to change or be anything different in. So good at organising, reading the play, can break things up, but can also play and create and orchestrate as well. He's been an excellent professional.
And all-star recognition again this year, for the first time since 2018, such has been his impact here. Hoping to make home advantage count. Only one of the last 5 finals won by the away side, that was NYCFC last year. And only once since 2011 have the travelling team triumphed without the need for a penalty shootout.
I think I'd like a neutral venue. I know it's been discussed, and just think when all the teams don't play each other and those records can be such that home field advantages gained from how you do in your conferences. I just think sometimes if it's a cup final, you want it to be completely neutral. That neutral venue, big part of it.
It used to be the case until 2011. There's Kai Wagner driving it in dangerously. Palacios partially clear. And Garber has said they will look at the playoff format again. There has been talk recently of it being expanded to a group stage style, potentially. Nothing decided yet on that score. Of course, in many leagues, Philadelphia would have won the Shield, and they've been hosting this, having had the better goal difference. Number of wins, the way it works, is the first tiebreaker in this league, which is why LAFC knew they would host their playoff games as long as they remained in the postseason. Looking for options. There's another that has been linked with a move once this season is done. There's a flag up far side as it fell at the feet of Mikel Uhre. Will be a free kick.
I think the biggest compliment you can play to the league now, and the way that that is developing is that it's not a natural that the best players are going to leave. You see just a couple of yards in that offside decision, but the correct one. It's just not a natural that players are going to leave. You know, there's a big draw now for them staying.
There's a chance for Carlos Vela. Big block. And Ilias Sanchez beaten in the initial challenge. Still in there scrapping for it. Gazdag coming under pressure, but did well. First of all to win the ball and then to keep hold of it. And now Martinez in. He was looking to pick the pass for Wagner. It's given away. Arango. Cifuentes found him with a little back heel. And he was caught. And it will be a free kick in very dangerous territory.
Yeah, perfect position. He gives the ball away. He actually makes the first great block, Martinez. But then he's sloppy with the ball that he gives away and just waves this leg out. We see he's off balance going back the other way, waves the leg out. Not malicious in the challenge, but a naive one. This is a great opportunity. Just see him trying to read the play, compounding his original error. This is a perfect situation. Should better take the wall out of the equation here. Certainly enough talented individuals from these set pieces to be able to get this ball up and down over the wall. Got to be good to beat that man.
Incredible season that Andre Blake has had. A huge save that he made from Callums against NYCFC when they were trailing by 1-0 in the Eastern Conference final. Kept his team in it. 11 minutes later, they were 3-1 in front. Carlos Vela surely will assume responsibility. Kellen Acosta is involved in the conversation as well. The three-time MLS goalkeeper of the year. He's the one doing the organising. 15 clean sheets he kept in the regular season. Another shutout against Cincinnati in the Eastern Conference semis.
Helps a bit when you can stick Jack Elliott. You see him there on the end of the wall. That helps guard that side a little bit. Can't gamble and go too early though here, Blake.
It'll be Kellen Acosta to take. It took a touch and it's in. The breakthrough goal in MLS Cup. The Californian dream a little closer to reality.
And talk about Blake, he can't gamble too much because he knows Vela's got the ability to curl that ball with his left foot. He knows he can get it up and down over the wall and anything curling away from him. So I think he takes a step here. There will be a deflection in the wall as well. How does it exactly go through? But it leaves the goalkeeper dead. We see him start to go, can't get back the other way. Great from LAFC. Vela, we just see that little bit of a deflection from the jump in the wall, and it does kill Blake. He's not sure who's taking it. Oh, it's a really unfortunate one. Tough for the goalkeeper. It's a great view of it. Delight for the home side, and it just shows the fine margins. Martinez excellent with a block, then sloppy giving away possession, giving away a free kick in such a dangerous area. The best teams will punish you. Absolute delight for the home players. This stadium has gone delirious.
Jack McGlynn was the unfortunate player in the wall, getting the touch to the effort from Kellen Acosta. New signing for this season. Plenty of previous MLS experience with the Colorado Rapids. Before that at Dallas, he scored twice in the regular season. He has made the breakthrough at Bank of California Stadium. Both teams admitted before the game just how important the opening goal could be on an occasion such as this. When LAFC scored it in the regular season, they won 17 of the 18 times it happened. They're in the mood for more straight away. Blake had to get a foot in. He's furious though with the defence in front of him.
Yeah, they've got to make sure they don't go under here, Philly. Not their way normally. But this place is absolutely vibrant now. That will definitely transmit to the players.
Black and gold sensing their chance. Blake beaten. Too much he could do about that. sure it was possible, but I think the volume levels have even increased another notch after the opening goal of the game. He did talk pre-match, Jim Curtin, about what his team had to do if they went behind, as they did, of course, against NYCFC in the Eastern Conference final. They were able to turn that one around and advance here through Ua. That'll be a free kick. Here's challenge on him.
Yeah, such a similar place, possibly just a little bit further out, enough to give slight advantage to the goalkeeper. Murillo making the challenge he doesn't really need to make. Ura's not going to outrun him in that situation. Defensive instincts have to kick in, you've got to be better. It's all right looking bemused about it, but it's the correct decision that's been made. Can Philly get themselves back into this for the execution of a set piece of their own?
Glynn, who has assumed some of the set-piece responsibilities since he came into the team, is standing over with Jack Elliott. We saw Jacob Glesner score from about 35 yards out in that 3-3 a couple of years ago, as he introduced himself to Major League Soccer at the time.
Yeah, difference in the size of wall as well.
Elliott to strike it, and it's straight at that wall. Not really struck with conviction.
Not convinced. If your centre-back is taking set pieces in that situation, not convinced. Not a skill that centre-halves necessarily have. It's not something that they practice as part of their daily schedule either, in terms of match play and the shots that you get. Surprised at the choice there.
If it was to be a centre-back to take it, I thought it might have actually been Glesnes rather than Jack Elliott. Wagner's got a bit of an issue here. That's why it's caught by Carlos Vela. Only won twice in the regular season from behind. Only happened 8 times. They conceded first. Flag up on the far side here.
They pass the ball well as well, that's the problem, so you have to go chasing it. That suits them, drawing teams onto them. You know how good their forward players are, how good they are exploiting those spaces as well. That's good discipline. Good luck sorting that one out. As an assistant referee, actually looked like there might have been an LAFC player right in the middle playing everyone offside there, onside there, but decision was given.
Sim Crepeau clears away as a result. Union trying to respond again here. They're seeing a little bit more of it, but they're also being frustrated by that flag fairly frequently.
Yes, that high line LAFC will hope to continue to the end of the game, because the one thing you can bet in a cup final is that they will go deeper over time as the clock ticks on. Natural to just drop a little bit deeper to try and be safer, but it's actually the worst thing you can do. Got to keep allowing your midfield to engage and get pressure on. Most important, they've got to keep passing the ball now. Take a little bit out of the legs of those Philadelphia players.
He's always in a little bit of trouble. Elsnes helps him out. LAFC only the 9th team to reach MLS Cup in the year that they won the Supporters' Shield. Only the 2nd in the last 11 years after Toronto's 2017 triumph. But of the previous 8, 7 of them went on to win the final. Do the double. Tantalisingly close for the black and gold today in just their 5th year in Major League Soccer. Complete sellout here, of course. There's a big watch party going on back at Subaru Park as well. For the away fans that couldn't make the lengthy cross-country trip, the Union did fly out about 180 members of their front office, their stadium and their academy staff to be at the game today. The biggest game in their history. Which began with their inaugural season in MLS in 2010. Olivia Baizo. And continued his run. Kaiser wasn't quite able to find him. Martinez.
Struggled for any real quality in the wide areas, haven't they, Philadelphia, so far? Played very much down the middle of the pitch. It's where the numbers are for LAFC generally as well. And as we see there, Murillo just breaking the play up. Sloppy pass, giving it away cheaply.
Wagner finding Gazdag. Singled out by Steve Cherundolo as someone that his team will have to keep a very close eye on, as they did Sebastian Driussi in the previous round. It turned into a very comfortable home win against Austin, meeting of the top two in the West last weekend. This next stage of the game, I think, will determine whether it's going to be a repeat performance today. Is the one that the Union will look to try and unlock the defence. 22 goals and 10 assists in the regular season. Viso, Carranza got underneath it.
Oh, we've hardly mentioned him. This is a chance. Looks down at the pitch. That's not to blame. It's just leaning back, skies the shot. It's a fine ball out. The first time they've really used that width. A little bit of an isolated incident. How does it sit for him? Yeah, he just gets himself underneath it. Tough chance. Cup finals are not generally won with easy tap-ins.
It was Carranza who scored their equaliser last weekend on Sunday against NYCFC. It was actually his first goal in his last 6 appearances after managing 7 in the previous 7. Flock putting the pressure on, Hollingshead forward. Cifuentes to Carlos Vela. McGlynn.
Those are the areas that have been sloppy. You can't give the ball away there. Just want it back. Gives you a chance to get up the pitch. You give possession up very easily.
There's Vela. Did really well to keep his feet. Then in came the challenge from Glesnes. It will be a free kick. As Carlos Vela is helped back to his feet by Jacob Glesnes.
It's a strange one, Vela, because he sucks players in a little bit where it doesn't look like he's particularly quick, but his feet are so good that he just reads situation. He gets a toe on the ball there. We see he's enough to move the path of the ball. Glesnes has to bring him down. Another brilliant effort. I think he might well fancy this one himself. I'm not sure they can play the ricochet card twice again. But again, that comes from one sloppy pass from Philadelphia trying to play the ball forwards. And they're so good in possession, LAFC. Always have options, have great technicians. Can't give them too many opportunities like this.
Made one of them count already. This time it is Arango and Vela who stand either side of it. Go straight at the wall. Might get another go yet. Back in by Carlos Vela, really good ball, Blake got something on it, and Wagner should be able to clear. Martinez taken off him by Ilya, and another free kick will follow.
So good from Ilya. This is where he's absolutely vital. We're hoping he stands up after this challenge. Don't see much in it. Blake, has he just kept his side in? Wall does its job. Not quite sure why they went down that option. That's a fine ball. Blake with his athleticism going to his left-hand side. Not sure about the offside situation. Would the ball actually have gone in? Probably not. Goalkeeper's not to know that. At this stage, it's the right thing to do. Go back across goal. You might just get a tap-in from that ball being palmed out. But then Ilya reading the play, breaking it up, stopping the counter-attack.
And the Carlos Vela free kick away acrobatically by Martinez this time. There's Ilya again. And Vela again. Can't quite combine as intended, and Jack Elliott will launch it long. Lager reached it, Murillo will clear it. Straight to Jose Martinez. Gazdag.
There's no finesse there, is there? There's no quality going into the forward players at the moment for Philadelphia. Jim Curtin will definitely be addressing at half-time. I think actually at this stage, with the way that his team have performed, be almost accepting if they go in just 1-0 down. can address various elements of the game so far, but they've not settled into the game. Of course it's intimidating, it's tough to come here, but you're trying to win MLS Cup, it's never going to be that easy.
Last time the respective top seeds both reached the final was 2003. Jim Curtin played in that game for the Chicago Fire against San Jose, but his team in a little bit of trouble here to prevent the corner kick. A teammate actually with the Fire of Curtin on the day was Ante Razov. He is an assistant coach at LAFC. That match was held in Los Angeles as well. I do wonder if Gareth Bale may have a part to play. He hasn't yet in these playoffs. It's flashed in again, and it just needed the touch which Vela wasn't quite able to apply.
What a ball. What a ball this is whipped in. Can Vela go for this with his right foot? Andre Blake just sensing his team lacking maybe a little bit of confidence. This is an unbelievable ball whipped in with pace. Vela throwing himself at the far post. Has he got a chance to go with his right? I think he has. See, not the natural leg that he would choose, but I think it looks the more natural position for him to have scored from there. Pace of the ball just too much for him.
12 goals in the regular season. Carlos Vela, quite at the levels of 2019. He managed those record 34 goals in winning MVP. A couple of seasons of injury issues followed. He stayed fit throughout the course of this campaign, to the position that LAFC are now in, partly as a result of that. A new contract in the summer as well to stay through until the end of next year as a designated player. There had been some talk that status might be in doubt, but not so. Touched by Ua, was looking for Gazdag. So adept at making those runs, taking up those positions just in behind the defence. Here goes Palacios. He's had a really fine season as well, Diego Palacios. But for Kai Wagner, I think he may well have made the MLS best 11. Vela was their only representative actually in that side. And here's the chance, Ua! And they just got back to him. Acosta's still got work to do though. Carranza now trying to pick up the pieces. That's taken away from him. Boanga getting back. Big chance though for Philly. Oh, scrambled but effective defence. It was all a bit rushed. Is a counter-attack on. Opens up at the other end for Carlos Vela. Looking for some support. It was Arango who was always going to take the shot on, but he couldn't trouble the target. Openings at either end.
Yeah, and he could take the shot on because of the perfect weight of pass. So we see the sloppiness. They haven't been able to make that effective sort of pass themselves, Philadelphia. But once that little touch is through, is it really out of his feet? No, good defended. Really solid cover going on. Ibeagha getting back, reading the play. And then the chance for Arango going purely for power. Just getting underneath the shot at the other end. Really been in the game so much, Arango. You know how good he is. Big effort for Philadelphia. I just think they lack a little bit of pace, don't they, in those forward areas. Not going to be running away from those two centre-backs, which is often the other way around.
It was for Ua. Some talk he might not be 100% fit. We were a little bit worried about that in the week. Fearsome front three they have been. He, Gazdag and Carranza all into double figures. First time in the Union's history they've had three players do that in the same season. The LAFC side of 2019 and Atlanta in 2018, the only teams that have had three players combined for more goals in an MLS season. Carranza, Ua and Gazdag for the Union this year. Contributing to an impressive goal difference, plus 46 by some margin, the best in the league. The only team that's ever had a better one, LAFC in 2019. Pressing and probing and ending the half strongly, but who again is unable to keep the shot down. That end product hasn't been there so far. In the last minute now of the first 45.
And Jim Curtin might take some consolation from the fact that it's possibly been one of the poorer performances that his side have actually put in the first half of a game throughout the course of a season. Never easy chasing, but there will definitely be a reaction after this half-time interval. Always is. Rhythm broken up a little bit for the home side. You've got to go out and start again. And then obviously it becomes the tactical battle of can you make changes that affect the game.
It's a solitary minute of added time at the end of the first half here. AFC free kick with a goal scorer down.
Yeah, it's an untidy challenge on Acosta. Don't think it is a head. Well, maybe a head injury. It didn't look like it was with the contact on Acosta himself. Players looking at the various merits. And Carranza actually takes an elbow from Acosta as he's jumping. He's jumping into the player rather than, you see, he's not looking at the ball at all. Nothing from Acosta that's cynical or dangerous. Just an unfortunate clash. Will be a painful one.
They sent just over $1 million in general allocation money to Colorado in January, LAFC, to bring Kellen Acosta to the club. A very useful bit of business, as indeed was Carranza's signing from Miami, where he wasn't really getting a game. He's found a home in Philadelphia. Goal the difference though, and it looks like it will be the difference at half-time. Kellen Acosta, his first in scoring in a 4-1 win at Real Salt Lake at the start of August. It goes threateningly. Acosta, another who hopes to have a World Cup to come after this. Expected that the USA squad will be announced on Monday. And last chance maybe at the end of the half. Aranga is quickly back on his feet. First shot blocked. He's attempting to get another one away. There was support in there from Palacios as well.
You might argue he was fouled. It's an untidy challenge coming from Glesnes.
It's been a fiercely contested first half. It was always going to be, of course, with MLS Cup on the line, but it's Kellen Acosta's goal, his deflected free kick, that separates the sides at half-time at Bank of California Stadium. See what this second half has in store. Ismail Elfaf getting ready to blow the whistle. LAFC in the famous black and gold get the action back underway. Jim Curtin, I'm sure, will have had plenty to say, Matt Jackson, about Philly's first half, and we'll need to see an improvement.
Yes, he will, but won't it be absolute emergency situation at this stage? I'm sure he will have stressed the fact that they're good players and they've earned the right to be here with the quality that they've got, and having played a certain way. Certainly you expect a reaction, expect a quick start to the half. He won't be one that will have been ranting and raving too much.
Carranza cutting back the cross in towards Mikelua. They certainly have started a half on the front foot, because for all the first half struggles, they're very much in this.
Great intervention from Murillo again, showing that athleticism. Two centre-backs have been excellent for LAFC so far. They have to be brave, as I mentioned in that first half, to push the team up the pitch, be brave enough to hold a high line, allow that midfield to engage. And actually I think it's an area Jim Curtin will have identified as having been a problem in that first half. They just got overrun in those central areas. Martinez, Flock, McGlynn really didn't get a grip on the game, didn't secure any possession to then go and feed that forward line that had been so good for them.
Said Jim Curtin after his team came back from behind in the previous round against NYCFC, and they fell behind later in the game. Actually, it was just before the hour mark when Maxi Morales gave NYCFC the lead at Subaru Park. He'd be lying if he knew that his team would come back, but they did come back with 3 goals in 11 minutes. His reaction after the match was, what a team. Band of brothers from the city of brotherly love that he has built. Have the unity, don't they, the union? They're going to need to call upon that and some today. It's the biggest win in their history last weekend. An even bigger prize at stake this afternoon in Tinseltown. A bigger task given the cross-country trip that they've had to make. where LAFC were beaten just twice in the regular season, where they've only ever lost 9 regular season matches out of 79 in their history. Only Austin and Nashville winning here this year. This is Glesnes. Union have the belief that they can compete with anybody. Glesnes again, cut out by Palacios. Rango reached it.
Great centre-forward play. I think he'd have been a bit frustrated with the lack of service he got in that first half. The physicality he has, the quality he has, knows he only needs one chance, but there, just a little half chance to hold the ball up. Vital when you're trying to get your side to its first trophy at this level. Managing the game is going to be a big part of this second half of the LAFC.
The closer they get, the more nervous they might be. Will be the 6th successive season with a different MLS Cup winner. And a proof of the competitiveness of this league. LAFC, of course, didn't make the playoffs last year. It's the first time in their short history that they missed out. Bradley departed, they've doubled down, come back strong. This is Martinez. Glynn. Played by Jesus Murillo. Philadelphia need to find some of that goal-scoring form. It led to such a stellar summer for them. And they went from being difficult to beat to free-scoring Philly. Remarkable spell that they had. Scored 16 goals in the space of 3 games, but they've given the ball away here. Arango trying to make the most of the turnover. Now Buanga. Palacios.
Again, sloppy pass from Philadelphia in that central area led to the little half break. Arango will be disappointed. He's looking for Vela on the right-hand side. Slow getting up to him. Overhits his pass out to the left-hand side to Buanga. They looked far more comfortable in possession. LAFC was a little bit surprised with the possession stats at half-time. Felt like they'd had better control of the game.
Seemed that way, didn't it? Narrow advantage and maybe a chance at the other end. Nicolua, Carranza in support. The Rio scrambles it away. It's going to go for the throw rather than the corner.
Probably actually had more time. Didn't get a shout from anyone around him. Sometimes discretion, the better part of Valour. First good little sign though. It's amazing, you look at how many goals that Philadelphia front line have produced. There's been very little interaction of play between them. I know they might argue that's from a service situation. There's been very little interaction of play between them.
Nothing at the end of it for them. They haven't found that fluency yet. Lynn's effort was an errant one.
Just a little bit of naivety. Certainly this is a good sign. Shouldn't be getting done with a long ball, a long straight ball. Surprised, talked about how good the 2 centre-backs have been for LAFC. That's not good defending if you're getting done over the top from that sort of distance.
Just to put into context the extent of Philadelphia's free-scoring summer, they won 4 games by 6 goals or more in the space of 11 matches. No other team in MLS history have won as many games by 6 goals or more.
A little interesting moment here. See everything going to get reviewed by VAR. But just looking at Ilya, I saw his reaction and he didn't like this challenge at all. Not one really for histrionics, but he didn't like the challenge at all. Arango it is that's taken an elbow. We saw in the first half that it's possible to be done. It's not great, it always looks worse in slow motion, and the arms have to be somewhere. It's a little bit untidy from Elliott. I don't think it will warrant anything too serious, but that's not like the one we saw with the challenge in the first half where players just jump into each other. He's certainly aware of where Arango is at this stage. It's a little bit of a movement towards the head.
And he's the only player, isn't he, out there who's on a yellow card, Jack Elliott. Drew Fisher, the video assistant referee today. Period of treatment for Chicho Arango.
I don't feel like the contact was that serious, and certainly catching him on the jaw rather than temple where you have more concerns. Obviously, quite rightly, the protocols being followed. Could have taken a few of those in his time, Jim Curtin, but it's not the modern game.
Such a key tussle, Elliott, against Arango, one of many out on the field. Elfaf charged with trying to sort this one out. Big honour, of course, to referee MLS Cup for the first time in his career. No changes were made at half-time, but there are plenty of options in reserve, and black and gold going through their warm-ups. Further treatment for Arango on the touchline. They are temporarily down to 10. By Baizo, the ball from Palacios, and Olivia Baizo breezes past him. Need to run into trouble. Cut out by Cifuentes. This is Carlos Vela. Martinez intervenes. Baizo stayed down this time. Because of that, Ismail Elfaf has intervened again.
Looks like he's taken a blow as well. He just overruns this ball, dribbling when he shouldn't be. It's just runs right into Cifuentes. He's a solid unit himself. We'll just see that bit of contact. Yeah, just runs into the upper arm. I know the protocols are what they are, but you see that sort of collision. There's no real chance that the player is in any sort of danger in this situation. I think it's an issue that we're going to have to come to terms with in the modern game. You can't have the game being continually stopped for this sort of collision. He's going to pick himself up from this. Okay, it might be a little bit sore, but it's going to be nothing more than that. And the game being broken up for these extended periods because of that, I just think it's something that's going to have to be looked at over time.
Certainly disrupted the rhythm of the second half so far. LAFC won't necessarily be too unhappy about that. Baizo, who, as I mentioned, won his place back late in the season, really, from Nathan Harriel. He only started 2 of the first 14 games this year. They were present in the playoffs. To the Africa Cup of Nations with Cameroon at the start of the year. Protocols continue.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of teammates that would not be capable of completing that task without a blow to the head. He's in a sobriety test.
Sure, we will see Corey Burke at some stage, particularly if the score stays as it is. He's developing a reputation as a super sub for the Union. Came off the bench to have the final say in the scoring against NYCFC last weekend. Might not be too much longer before he's on today. Does seem to be one of those players that has more of an impact coming on than when he starts games. So back into the action as well, just as Arango was a few minutes earlier. LAFC back on the ball with Carlos Vela. Arango ahead of him. The pressure on Lesnes, who guided it back to Andre Blake, just.
Yeah, they don't like the challenge that Arango's made. I think Arango can go for this. I think there's enough in it. Blake, looking at him, a good professional, he settles it down. Arango picks himself up. Philadelphia have got to be careful they don't get sucked in here to having the game continually broken up. Arango's running here, checks, because I don't think he expects Vela to make that quality of pass. It's a great pass. He can go for that. He's not really stamping out. He can stretch for it. Yeah, makes contact with the ball only. Nothing wrong with that at all, and I do like that from Andre Blake. Not being particularly theatrical, getting on with it. Chance.
Kalua forced wider than he would have liked, does have support in the middle. Both Carranza and Gazdag were waiting. Instead it's a corner.
Oh, his touch could be better as well. If he gets the ball going forwards, I think he can strike this with his left. These long balls are a bit of a concern for LAFC. If he gets that just inside a bit to strike with his left, it's on. Understand where you get success, keep exploiting that.
Here comes the corner kick, it's out by Jesus Murillo. Colombian rows well, danger not away yet though, Baizo. Martinez. He's going to have another go, and where will this break? Daniel Gazdag.
Wow.
The pride of Philadelphia. Their top scorer comes to the party in MLS Cup and levels it up at 1-1.
And Martinez has managed to have a worse shot than he had in the first half. We talk about him never scoring. I mean, the ball was going nowhere, but the best forwards react. They create chances from nothing for themselves, and when they get those chances, they generally score. There we see, along the line, Palacios just playing them onside. They've had no chances whatsoever. Crepper goes to ground quickly. Look at the shots going nowhere. But the best strikers find a way. Great finish, game on.
22 goals he got in the regular season. It's his second in consecutive matches in the postseason. The Hungarian international, another of the bargain buys really, although by Philly standards he was a significant signing. Has had a super season, and just before the hour mark he has levelled things up here. The underdogs, as they like to catch themselves, have battled back from behind. Duranga's just overrun that at the other end.
And LAFC here, they can't beat themselves up. The goal comes really from nothing. It's a fine finish, but it comes from nothing. It's not like a sustained period of good play. So they've got to settle, play again themselves. They've got enough quality to do that. But just the seeds of doubt will have been sown. Suddenly you're pegged back. Suddenly the enormity of winning MLS Cup for the first time becomes apparent again. Who will deal best with that?
Yet again, the Union show their resolve, show their collective spirit. And often this season, when they score once, they score twice very quickly. 13 times they've managed 2 goals within 5 minutes of each other, including in that conference final last weekend. So this is a really dangerous spell for LAFC an hour in.
And they are having more success with this direct play. It's getting them up the pitch quicker. Should be a foul as well.
Just that going down, and Ismail Elfeth has told him to get back up again.
That looked like a foul to me. But it just puts a bit of pressure on, and Jim Curtin will be encouraging them to do that. If you've got to go direct with a bit more quality. I mean, this shot is just never on from there. Could have gone anywhere, but the strikers, and you have to give a little bit of credit, there's just a bit of movement. Gazdag away from his defender just in case. That's what the best forwards do. They gamble and they produce themselves something from nothing. His demeanour's not really changed, has it, throughout the course? That's why I think he will go on to be successful manager pretty much wherever he chooses. He has that great demeanour that players respect, brings the best out of them.
Going to be short of suitors. He decides to seek a fresh challenge after everything that he's already achieved here, but this is the one that he and the Union want. This is what they've been working towards for years, really. It's not been a rapid turnaround, has it? It's been steady year-on-year progress.
Do I go for it? Do I remain defensive? His defence have been excellent. I've talked about how good those two centre-backs have been, but a couple of long balls caught them out, and that has dragged them back. They've got a bit deeper now. There will be more space in those midfield areas to play.
Fascinatingly poised right now. The top two teams in this league going toe-to-toe for the trophy in Tinseltown. And the Union are sensing their chance, looking much more of a threat. There is a flag up on this near side. Who came and collected anyway at the feet of Daniel Gazdag.
Yeah, both sides have got to make sure they end up with 11v11 as well. It's just a little bit fractious at times. Mario does brilliantly here. He's athletic again and strong. No problems there.
This is Buanga. Brought it neatly down in his stride, delivers into a threatening area where Carlos Vela was lurking.
Good defending, Wagner. Just get a contact on it. Read the play well, sensed the danger. Very important that you think about, obviously the momentum of the game changing, how that can be affected. Have to take into account the coaches as well, that this game could go to extra time. You have to have that at the back of your mind as well. Just sensing the micro moments in a half that you can really influence.
It's Kellen Acosta with the corner. It's claimed by Andre Blake. Took a bit of a buffeting as well. And the tempers are beginning to boil over in the afternoon sunshine.
Cifuentes this time, I think it's a great jump from him. Of course he's entitled to go for this. It's more of an issue when you take a blow in that sort of area. Interesting to see this on a replay, just because it looked at the time to be a really... I'm not sure Jack Elliott should necessarily be the one talking after his mini elbow escapades earlier on. Obviously challenging the goalkeeper generally viewed as being slightly different, but this looked like a really good athletic jump. Certainly didn't feel like he led with his elbow. Took the contact himself with his own head as well.
I'm being questioned by Carlos Vela, but Cifuentes is into the book. He's the first LAFC name taken by Ismail Elfaf this afternoon.
It's a good jump. Look how high he gets. Just jump. I mean, there is no... You're going to rule that out of football. Might as well all give up. A challenge from that sort of delivery. Goalkeeper such an advantage anyway.
That's cost him that card though. Blake clears it away. Decent distance on that one by Ilya in the air. Martinez gets to it just ahead of Buanga. Such a popular figure. Jose Martinez in Philadelphia has become a real fan's favourite. Interrupted Jim Curtin's post-match press conference on Sunday after the win against NYCFC. Wearing some goggles, brandishing the champagne, telling the coach it was time to join the party. Will they be celebrating again today? We are no nearer knowing as it stands right now. Chicho Arango. Tina's got a foot in. Costa. Hollingshead. Forward for Carlos Vela, leaps up in the air, rightfully gathered up by Andre Blake and released pretty quickly.
Yeah, good tempo from Blake, understanding that his side a little bit of an upper hand.
This came for Carranza in the middle. Whistle has gone.
Yeah, he just clips the heels of Ibeagha, shielding him. But well, they looked really solid before. Suddenly, that direct style that Philly have taken, bypassing the midfield areas, certainly been successful for them.
Almost at the midway point of the second half now. Right back in the balance. Arango. Beaten to it by Glesnes, but he is still able to help it on here for Carlos Vela, and there's Buanga. Coolly done by Blake. Took the touch and clears it away, only as far as Ilya though. Hollingshead, Cifuentes. It's an excellent ball back. Hollingshead had almost got in behind.
Blake does well with the clearance, but it's picked up, and when all those black shirts are still forward, see the little 1-2. Hollingshead committing to this, probably looking to pull it back across. It just gets caught out a little bit by the bounce. Strong challenge coming in from Elliott to concede the corner.
To be taken by the captain, Carlos Vela. Too close to Andre Blake, who makes it his, relatively uncontested that time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it is Cifuentes who's closest to him, and he does almost pull out of making a challenge.
Glyn. I wonder if we will see Bedoya at any stage, whether he's fit to play any part. The captain. He's been a big miss for Philadelphia.
Yeah, you'd feel he's a surer upper, don't you, if they get themselves ahead. Not sure that necessarily when he's chasing a game or trying to get in front. Certainly coming back from an injury. I mean, they would have started him if there'd have been any possibility. The leadership qualities he has, the figurehead he is, and the fact that he absolutely deserves it for the career he has had. It was not going to be long until we saw changes.
Corey Burke is being readied. Bedoya did sign a new contract in September to stay for next season. Tim Curtin said at the time they should build a statue of him. So important has he been to this club since his arrival from French football back in 2016. Forward by Ilya. That is a really good ball. This is Arango, who was able to get his shot away but never really caught hold of it.
He needs to go across goal. It's had a slightly frustrating afternoon. Back line not exactly set for Philadelphia, but he should be wrapping his foot around that and hoping his mate getting across the box there. Carlos Vela into that 6-yard box, such a good predator.
It will be Mikel Uwe who will come off for Corey Burke. He's waiting for his introduction. For Buanga. Cifuentes. Which was by Klesnes. This is Murillo.
LAFC look like they've settled a little bit from the shock of conceding. It's a poor challenge. Just no need to make that challenge. That's the type that if you go into the book there, and he's lucky really, because there's no way Carranza can play the ball from the angle that he's approaching that challenge.
Could have been a caution, couldn't it?
Easily.
Willian Carranza. There's the change. Corey Burke coming off the bench for the 7th game in succession since he last started for the Union. He has tended to have more joy as a substitute. 25 appearances off the bench in the regular season, and he's been called for in the second half in every playoff game so far. We'll fancy his chances here with 20 minutes to go of potentially being his side's hero.
He will also have spent some time yesterday evening working out in his own mind, if I'm coming on as a substitute, exactly how I'm going to score the winning goal. Can it come to fruition?
8th year in charge for Jim Curtin. 2-time MLS Coach of the Year. Now he also won it in 2020 when they took the Shield. Peter Vermees at Sporting Kansas City has been in his job longer now in Major League Soccer. And Jim Curtin took over midway through the 2014 season. The club almost unrecognisable really today from then. As I just got to it ahead of Buanga, guides it back to Blake. Will be a free kick. Go Palacios down.
Been pretty cool, hasn't he, Mel Fat? Certainly hasn't wanted to be the centre of attention. That's not a great challenge either. No studs involved, but certainly no ball involved either, and it's high. Through with a really good view of it. Not brandishing the yellow card again. Young man McGlynn, good pedigree, hasn't really imposed himself on this game.
Still with a free kick, Carlos Vela with the delivery. Instead to try and return it. As far as Cifuentes. Still not away yet. But first real involvement is a defensive one, back on the edge of his own box, but they do survive the scare. Shield winner with Dallas, 4 years at Colorado, Kellen Acosta. His goal, though, no longer the difference, and frustration is just beginning to build a little bit amongst those in black and gold.
They still feel like they are the most likely to create their own goal. It was a little bit fortuitous, that Philadelphia goal after the shot from Martinez. But at the moment, LAFC still feel in better control possession-wise, leading to chances. Or opportunities for chances.
Free kick here. So a moment ago, Mahala Apoku getting ready. He is LAFC's own super sub, really. But it is the top scorer that is coming off. This will not be Chicho Arango's day. A match winner against the Galaxy in the semi-final. He was a goal scorer as well against Austin in the conference final. He hasn't quite been able to influence MLS Cup in the way that he would have hoped, and Apoku comes on.
Big call, massive call. All those goals that Arango has, that quality he has, the understanding he has with Vela, you could see the surprise on his face. Will this be a decisive moment in this MLS Cup final?
A big call from Steve Cherundolo as Kai Wagner tries to float in the free kick. Daiso. McGlynn. This is Burke. The whistle is gone. It was up.
Probably for offside rather than foul. He's not got the worst record of coming on in finals.
It's possible, isn't it? Can you imagine? He's been on the periphery, really, Gareth Bale, since arriving in MLS in the summer. This would be quite the time to assume centre stage. So he really had the game time he would have been hoping for ahead of the World Cup with Wales, which was one of the primary motivating factors in him coming here. He hadn't seen him in the post-season. Carranza. So with a bit of space to surge into. It's covered good ground. It's by Murillo.
Game probably the most stretched it's been, which will be good for the creative players getting on the ball. Turnover's likely to increase as well. Problem the players have now, they know the decisive moment at this stage. Conceding might just be a death knell. That's an uncomfortable moment. Prepo managing to get back. Just haven't looked as solid, have they, in this second half, LAFC? It does just play on the mind a little bit.
It was awkward, wasn't it, for them? Ganstek, the player, trying to profit. Score up the equalising goal, which has planted that seed of doubt in Californian minds.
Steve Cherundolo just sensing that as well. The point we made in that first half about the Terraces' influence in the game. Suddenly, if they get nervous, definitely transmits onto the pitch. Philly not necessarily going to have that problem with their small, travelling band of supporters.
About 2,700 miles to LA to try and bring home the trophy. Fancying their chances right now. Back in by McGlynn, it's deflected as Burke challenges for it, then attempts to pick up the pieces as well. He's making a nuisance of himself already.
Yeah, they won't mind the physical challenge, the two centre-backs, but it is a different type of challenge that they're facing now with Burke up there.
bit more work defensively just at the moment, LAFC. Another play from Hollingshead.
Yes, they've gone for the don't make a mistake mode rather than be good enough to create an opportunity through good play at the moment. Almost like players, particularly in the defensive areas, don't want possession.
Might get the shot away there, and here comes the counter-attack. Carlos Vela is an isolated target, and Jack Elliott got just enough on it. Back to Blake.
Interesting as well, because if you've got Arango chasing that down, I think it gives Elliott more of a problem. It's Vela that's gone more central.
Again, thumped it long, up towards Corey Burke.
It's been a definite change, hasn't it, in this second half? Looks like something that they've decided to do. It certainly has just managed to turn the tide possession-wise as well, but you feel just a little bit of momentum shift as well.
So sizing this one up. It's a good spell this from the Philadelphia Union. Martinez will claim the free kick for the challenge off the ball, which was spotted on Jack McGlynn. We'll get the set-piece opportunity here.
Great opportunities as well. Palacios just a little bit late into the challenge. This could be fired to the centre of that 6-yard box.
Has been another excellent signing this season for LAFC, brought in from Vancouver, a Canadian international. May well be required.
Has to be hitting the target inside that far post here from Wagner. You know the quality he's got in that left foot. Make sure if no one touches this ball, it goes straight in.
So often this season he has provided the stellar service. He does whip it in straight through to the goalkeeper. There's a whistle in there anyway.
Naive, giving away a cheap free kick. The contact in the middle of that goal, it's such a dangerous situation.
It's 10 minutes of the 90 approaching. It wasn't extended by any stretch on that occasion, but the Union believing now that they can turn this around. Time to be a sports fan in Philadelphia right now. The Phillies involved in the Major League Baseball finals this year. Later tonight, actually, against the Houston Astros. To win that one to keep the World Series alive. And the Eagles in NFL have made their best ever start to a season, the only unbeaten team. Can the Union play their part? Can they bring MLS Cup back to Philadelphia? To Chester and the banks of the Delaware River, where they play their home games. They went unbeaten at home all season. They're having to do this the hard way on the road. Giving as good as they're getting right now, having got themselves back on terms. Given away to Paizo.
Definitely looks more belief about the visitors at the moment.
There's Gazdag. Nothing forthcoming for him from the officials. Glenn back to Blake, all the way back to Blake. Problems though for Steve Cherundolo.
Yeah, his big players aren't getting on the ball. Fellow we mentioned so much in the first half. He's taken off his centre forward as well, made that change. Been very little impact. Opoku coming in to the action.
Got his goal against Austin. Wrap up the win in the West last weekend. Try and get in behind here. He has the pedigree to make a difference in situations such as this.
As well, Wagner taking a bit of a chance when you go to Graham. You've seen track the run, eyes on the ball, good defending, been excellent, hasn't he?
Expected to depart for many millions. Picks up a fraction of that fee from the third tier in German football. As the corner comes in, headed in by Murillo. They are reaching for the stars in Los Angeles. MLS Cup is close. A towering header. A huge goal that might just go down in the short history of this club. 5 years in the making, they are minutes away from MLS's ultimate prize.
He attacks the ball brilliantly, but it's an area that should be defended from Philly. Really disappointing defending. Martinez is tracking him, loses him completely, but you've got to fill that near post area. You know how vulnerable you are as a team from there. Well, the quality he's shown defensively, we know they like to attack the ball, those two centre-backs. Even Blake with his athleticism, the pace of the ball, no chance at all. Delight here, wasn't quite sure where a goal was coming from. They've been excellent on the day. Can they see this one out? It's a real lift. They've regained a bit of control again. They played well to create the set piece for themselves. Other celebrations in 10 minutes or so going to be coming down from those terraces. Gamble time now for Philadelphia.
One teenager for another. Off comes McGlynn, and into the action comes Paxton Aronson. Or if the reports are to be believed, a farewell appearance for Philly. Deal with Eintracht Frankfurt is reportedly close. May even be sealed as soon as next week. To follow in the footsteps of brother Brendan in making it big in Europe. He's got 6 minutes plus added time to try and make a difference here.
Game craft required. Manage the situation, certainly manage possession. Attack the ball now. Murillo, Ibeagha got to the corner the other end. Actually, this clearance came from Murillo's massive header as well defensively. Such good physicality. Can your goalkeeper be brave? How high can you push that line?
And it goes! Oh! In it goes! Jack Elliott restores parity straight away for the Union. One centre-back scoring from a set-piece, followed by another centre-back scoring from a set-piece, almost straight away, and it's 2-2.
Oh, it's bullet header again, pace of the ball coming in, but into an area that you have to have the first man. We see just beaten. How do you leave Jack Elliott? 6'6", free in the box. Oh, what a header from him as well. Krepper going to his right-hand side, no chance. Again, that brilliant delivery from Wagner. Philadelphia from nowhere, back in this game.
They were behind were Jim Curtin's team for 2 minutes 27 seconds before finding their second equaliser of the game. That's what it means to the Union, to the city of Philadelphia. This unbreakable bond, this never say die spirit in evidence again. We're back all level again. Well, it's taking on a similar sort of feel, isn't it, to El Trafico. He went on to win that one right at the end in added time. But here they have problems again. Maybe Ibeagha into the book.
It is the physicality of Burke that's caused this. And you know you've got Kai Wagner coming across with that left foot to deliver this ball middle of the box again. Just misjudges the bounce. Possibly that could have been a foul. A little nudge from Burke. He's clever enough to take the contact, go to ground. Heart in mouth time here for the home fans. This will be cruel from their perspective. Not quite sure that the free kick was necessarily where Wagner's taken it from either. Just got to put it concentrate on that delivery. Miss the first man again. Let your big men do the work. Jack Elliott, can you be a hero once more?
Well, they will fancy it. Hearts in mouths for LAFC right now. As Kai Wagner stands over this. By Wagner. Crepeau had to be alert. They might get another go. The presence of those that had ventured forward this time, though, was a little more academic by Wagner's delivery. Martinez. Keeper made that his.
Players and the coaches here as well have to realise that you don't take extra time as a formality. Make sure you get to extra time as well. You can't switch off in these late stages. Those concentration levels have to remain high. Of course, the coaches have to have a plan, have to prepare, but the players cannot switch off.
I'm sure the LA Galaxy here a couple of rounds ago thought they were heading to extra time when they twice came back from behind and lost it 3 minutes into added time. Anything can happen from here. Only one of the last 9 MLS Cup finals before today had more than 3 goals in it. More drama to come in this one. They tend to be free-scoring affairs. The 4 previous meetings have all averaged over 4 goals a game. There's the throw, flicked on, cleared by Ibeagha. Get too far with it though. Hamza couldn't quite get his shot away, still the danger. Too much on it for Corey Burke, last minute of the 90.
Can't get possession of the ball anymore, LAFC. Not getting it in the middle of the park whatsoever. Just got to get control again. They did well after giving up the first goal. Managed to come back into it, dominate possession a little bit with some quality as well, which led to the second. This will have shocked them though, being pegged back again.
Clearance wasn't a good one from Crepeau, collected by Carranza. Had Gazdag and Burke ahead of him, now Paxton Aronson. Too over eager to try and win the ball back, having lost it there. The 19-year-old.
Good foul to give away though, actually, once he gives it up. I think he can be ball direct, running towards the area. Just a little hint of desperation from LAFC, going forward quickly. And their strength has been passing the ball through those midfield areas. This is the sort of area now they can exploit.
7 added minutes at the end of the 90. Far from finished for the possibility of extra time. This is Carlos Vela. Flips in the cross. Guided really across the face of goal in the end, and no more, by Ryan Hollingshead.
It's hopeful more than anything. Ball going out there, see they're not flooding bodies into the box. Little looped header. Fairly easy to defend. Got to be something really special to score from that sort of opportunity. Well, this crowd not giving up. The noise is still cascading down. Is the belief still exactly the same as it was 90 minutes ago, though?
Twice the 32-52 have seen their team in front. Twice pegged back by the Union. And the cards keep coming. Carranza was fortunate maybe a little while ago not to get one. Now he does. Have a yellow to his name. Continuing the conversation with Denny Buanga. Previous MLS Cup finals have gone to extra time. Of course, last year it went all the way to penalties. That's why Carranza's landed himself in trouble this time.
Not sure I'd want to be trying to bully Ibeagha too many days of my life. As you say, could quite easily have been booked previously as well. Certainly can't be complaining about that one. No effort to go and play the ball at all. Going to be able to stop him that way. It's a meaningful glance, isn't it? That's card marked, just in case. Store that one away.
A few minutes ago that Ibeagha himself saw yellow now on the receiving end. Still have 5 minutes of added time to play before extra time. Palacios forward to Buanga. Scored his first goal for the club in the win at Portland that clinched the Supporters' Shield. Denny Buanga trying to turn provider here in towards Carlos Vela, who he was blocked off. Be a test of fitness, test of mindset. Desire is unquestioned on either side. Resilience required. Side that is mentally stronger may well go on and win this. Carranza forward.
It's offside.
There's Gazdag. Flag has now gone up against him. Level on points in the regular season. This would be a 4th straight draw between them. Of course, it can't finish this way. And a little lapse of concentration from LAFC, almost let in Carranza. To the gain here, Gazdag. Just unable to stretch and collect that, and now maybe the counter-attack for LAFC. Carlos Vela taking over. The pass from Hollingshead. Vela come up with a moment of magic. He will probably settle for that, will he? Got himself outnumbered 2-1.
Baizo doesn't like it, but he's clever. Martinez, once again, he's done brilliantly getting back. Just don't put any sort of contact on there. Vela's protecting the ball, always going to go to ground. Clever. Some might call it gamesmanship. It's clever professionalism, certainly at this stage of a cup final. An opportunity for quality delivery. We know they have an aerial threat. Can it be the decisive moment?
Some pieces really have been such a big part of the story. Costa and Vela stand over it. Two teams that finished level on 67 points this season, the first time in MLS Cup history. The ball comes in, it wasn't dealt with by the Union. It's gathered up from under his crossbar really in the end by Andre Blake. Big chance for LAFC that Ipiaga did not make the most of.
Oh, his downward header, and it's Hollingshead. It's going to be a foul. Hollingshead has an opportunity, stood in front of the goalkeeper. Probably just the bounce of the ball as to whether he goes for it with foot or head. Here we see the little deflection. Ipiaga gets decent contact. Oh, how does Hollingshead miss it? Makes the move as well. Yeah, diving header, he probably scores the winner. Goes for it with the foot and doesn't quite make a connection.
Blake breathing a huge sigh of relief after that. It's a couple of times Hollingshead's put himself in a really important position in front of goal without making it count. The ball just runs away from Carlos Vela. In no hurry here. It'll be about this stage of proceedings the goalkeepers might begin to think about their roles if it goes to a penalty shootout. Certainly Luxors of it will be heading for 30 more minutes, but LAFC do have another free kick and maybe one last chance before the end of normal time. Nail-biting stuff. These clubs have worked so hard for so long to put themselves in this position. Who can finish it off? Kellen Acosta, who started the scoring today. This is Cifuentes. He's looking for Vela. Wagner with an important intervention. Ilya Sanchez. 7 added minutes have now been played, although there were a couple of stoppages in those 7 minutes, so on we go. The likelihood being that on we go into extra time in MLS Cup. It's still very loud inside Bank of California Stadium, but the tension is palpable now. Finding only touch with the clearance. They're waiting for the whistle. And on we go into extra time in MLS Cup. The Philadelphia Union showing their unbreakable spirit as they twice battled back from behind. Carlos looked like he'd made the winning goal when his corner was headed in by Jesus Murillo, but less than 2.5 minutes later, Jack Elliott responded in kind to level it up for the Union. Gazdag having cancelled out Kellyn Acosta's first half goal, so we're still no nearer knowing which of these two teams will have their name on the trophy for the very first time. LAFC 2, the Philadelphia Union 2, with extra time on the way. They've made another change here and brought on Christian Teo. Brought in the summer from Real Betis, formerly of Barcelona. He's on for Kellyn Acosta in an attacking move by Steve Cherundolo. Yet to start a game for the club actually since he arrived on a 3-year contract in August. First appearance of the playoffs. Interesting that first it was the Poku, then it was Teo called for from the bench. Still no sign of Gareth Bale. As LAFC get ready to get extra time underway. 2-2 at Bank of California Stadium in MLS Cup. Another half an hour to try and separate these sides who could not be separated really over the course of the 34-game regular season. A little awkward, but no more for Andre Blake before he gathers it up. Only natural that he and Crepo might be beginning to think about penalties, but I don't think either coach will just yet. Although they will have practiced them, they will have planned for them, given how tight a matchup this always looked like being.
He's done well, Burt, coming on. It's just knocked the two centre-backs around. We talked about that physical presence that he provides. Not necessarily a great deal of quality come out of it, but he definitely has allowed more space for the other two. Ibeagha, Murillo suddenly had to have a look at Burke, get a bit closer together. That does allow the other two to thrive.
There's Martinez. Wafting it long. Trying to force his way through, and again he's told to get up again by referee Elfeth.
Not a huge amount of finesse in that movement. It's been effective. Certainly when you contrast that with the introduction of a Poku, who we've hardly mentioned till now.
It's come, didn't get there. Bouanga, can he keep it in? Not quite. And Andre Blake is able to breathe a huge sigh of relief.
A lovely little slip ball. And he'd read the situation well, the goalkeeper. Certainly gets enough power, and that's why he does get that bit of luck as well. Makes good connection with the clearance. Really stretched the game, though. Can't believe we're not going to have more goals if they're going to play in this sort of fashion.
Certainly not a cagey start to extra time, is it?
No, you've got a centre-back overlapping for starters.
We've got Carlos Vela in a pocket of space here, which often spells trouble looking for Bouanga. Elliott got his foot in, as he needed to.
Great challenge. I think Bouanga can let this run and strike it with his left foot. Don't know why he does the step over. It's a lovely pass, well read by goalkeeper Blake with a bit of a fly hack. It's not easy winning trophies.
Both of these previously claimed a Supporters' Shield. LAFC have done that twice, but neither have yet won a cup final. LAFC beaten in the Champions League in 2020. Union losing 3 times in 3 previous US Open Cup finals. Who can get over the line here? Carlos Vela with the corner. Seeing what he can create today from those sort of situations, but not on that occasion. He's trying to return it. Has to settle for the throw, blocked away off Leon Flock. Signed from St. Pauli in the second tier of German football. He has featured in every game that Philadelphia have played in the 2 years that he's been at the club. Incredible record of consistency.
That really does epitomise the franchise, doesn't it? Exactly what they put together, what they expect from their stars. Full credit to him, that is not easy to do.
Chase on now for both Carranza and Burke. Neither were really favoured by the bounce of the ball. It's awkward for Murillo.
It looked like a foul as well. It's been excellent, Murillo. Really has been very good.
It's for Daniel Gazdag with time to luck up. Tries to pick out Corey Burke. I think that might just have struck his hand there. And the assistant referee is flagging.
Got a great line in the innocent victim, hasn't he, Corey Burke?
Can the underdog story prevail in Hollywood today? Although Steve Cherundolo was having none of it, was he? Saying the side that finished level on points with them, that were the top scorers and had the best defensive record in MLS this season, could not consider themselves as underdogs today. Twice battled back from behind.
Yes, underdogs definitely felt a bit demeaning as a phrase for them.
Carlos Vela taken off his toes. Inadvertent intervention from the referee. We are going to see Gareth Bale by the looks of things. For the first time since the penultimate round of games of the regular season. In fact, since his arrival in the summer, he's only started twice in Major League Soccer. Will be his 11th appearance off the bench, his first of the playoffs. The word we're getting is that Carlos Vela, the captain, is going to be the one to make way.
Yeah, he's looking pretty laboured. Socks sort of down. Done a lot of running.
Space here for Philadelphia. They've got plenty in the middle. It's Gazdag with the flick. Almost came back to him. And now Paxton Aronson. Played by Ibiaga only as far as Martinez to have a go. He was tempted into it. Always just missing that far post though.
Yeah, he's always just missing that far post.
And here is the change. Well, listen to the reception from the stands. And if LAFC are to see through the vision that Carlos Vela had, that he signed up for when he became their first ever designated player, then he's not going to be able to play any further part in achieving it. Instead, it's over to Gareth Bale.
Yeah, and I don't mind the change because you have players that are occasion players that have been used to the biggest stages. Certainly nobody would doubt Gareth Bale and his quality. Possibly a little bit of the hunger has died with the comfort that the game has brought him. He's deserved every bit of that. His first little intervention there, but there is somebody who can produce, certainly with that left foot in the big moments. It is him.
He's played in and he's scored in and he's won Champions League finals as Gareth Bale. Takes over from Carlos Vela for the conclusion of this contest in MLS Cup. Hoping to make that quality count, that experience count. And putting the pressure on just at the moment, but all the way through for Teo. This is Buanga. taking on Baizo. First feet of Denny Buanga. Just ran out of room.
Good defending, Baizo. Excellent. Moved his feet quickly, kept his eye on the ball, kept his shoulders square. Really good textbook defending. It's going to be tough out there. It's going to be some sore legs. Got to keep the mind sharp, the concentration levels as high as possible. But the physical toll of extra time, not easy for players.
Test of endurance as it is for the 32-52 behind that goal. So named, by the way, because of the number of spaces in the safe standing section in this stadium. State-of-the-art downtown home for LAFC that they are hoping to crown with the championship today. Getting to ask a few more questions in attack again. Opoku taken off him by Martinez. Cleared only to Ilya Sanchez, though. He's got time just to assess his options in attack. In towards Gareth Bale. Flicks it on. Buanga trying to get there. Found Baizo in the way. So Blake can come and claim. First real involvement in front of goal for Gareth Bale.
Yeah, it was a great touch as well. It's really good awareness to put the ball into a dangerous area. You'd expect bodies to be going in there.
It would be quite a Hollywood script, wouldn't it, if Gareth Bale comes on and scores the winner here. 5 times a Champions League winner with Real Madrid.
I hope it means something to him. I hope it really would. I mean, that's some trophy cabinet that he has. Loves the international stage as well with Wales, but I really hope this would mean something special to him.
Burke, Aronson, links just behind Baizo. What a time to be a coach on an occasion like this, at a stage of the game like this.
Actually, have both conducted themselves really well, haven't they? And they've looked in control, which is often half the battle. I certainly know coaches in this league that wouldn't be looking quite so cool in these circumstances.
They are two gentlemen of the game, aren't they? Steve Cherundolo and Jim Curtin, full of genuine respect for each other. What their teams have achieved this season. Still slugging it out here. Crepo comes a long way and did well. Decisive goalkeeping, made it his, releases it quickly for Palacios. He played in MLS. Steve Cherundolo spent his whole career in Germany. And he began his coaching career as well. Grew up in California, in San Diego. Coached last season with the Las Vegas Lights before getting the top job at LAFC. Team that he has helped put together. Can they see it through here? Poku will have to settle for the throw.
Yeah, worked hard though to create the opportunity.
This is Ilya taking on Martinez. He just got in front of him. This was all really that he needed to do.
Yeah, good play from Martinez. His athletics been excellent in terms of the ground that he's covered, going up and down. Maybe a little bit rash with one or two of his challenges. I would argue rash with some of his shooting decisions as well, but he does have an assist to his name, so he may know better than me.
Well, those dreams haven't been dashed yet, but they are right back in the balance. By Glesnes. 2-2 is how it finished, of course, when they met here in May in the regular season. There can only be one winner today. 15th name, the Philip F. Anschutz Trophy. ultimate role of match winner, of hero, is still to be assumed.
Just again feels like both sides have gone into the mode of trying not to lose it rather than actively trying to go and win it.
Space for Olivier Bazot for the Union. Forward from full-back again, and providing the cross. Winters with the clearance. Elliott won it well. Plenty in the penalty area, and it's Carranza who met it. It just didn't quite come down quickly enough. Big chance, Julian Carranza, he was close.
I mean, it's a great jump. It's not really a chance, but it's all through the athleticism of his jump. All looping up in the air, he gets up early. Crespo knowing that it just goes over, a little half a chance. Jim Curtin knows the fine margins. Still say at this stage, it's Philadelphia that are just pressing that little bit more. Could we have imagined LAFC without Arango and Vela on the pitch winning a trophy? It seems a little bit hard to fathom.
Oh, they're two regular penalty takers as well, but it might not get that far. It's Teo, and it's Blake who makes the save on the stretch, turns it away from trouble. Save a goalkeeper of his quality would expect to make, but he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely should make the save. Does he need to palm it? Can he actually catch that going across to his right-hand side?
Almost at half-time in extra time. Some weary legs and minds out there at this stage, I'm sure. Teo, who had that shot thwarted by Andre Blake, and they still can't be separated as we reach the midway stage of extra time. Penalties edging ever closer as a possibility, if not quite yet a probability. Gareth Bale may well have his say yet, certainly if it comes to a shootout. Not sure either coach would want it to go that far. One of those, 2015, in the US Open Cup final against Sporting Kansas City. John McCarthy came on in the last minute of extra time and replaced Andre Blake and took his place in the shootout. They lost it 7-6. That's for later if it gets that far. The Union still harbouring hopes that it might not, but they can force themselves in front here. First Burke and then Carranza, just for a split second or so, thought they might be able to do so.
And again, it's just one of those flighted long balls. For all the aerial dominance those two centre-backs have had, that has been the ball that has undone them. Just the flighted ball over the top. Should not cause them that much trouble.
Here it comes from Kai Wagner. Height and distance on the throw. Emphatically as far as Martinez. Wagner's able to control it though. Lofts it back in. Was route one. What a season it's been in Major League Soccer. Charlotte becoming the 28th team in this league. They hope to finalise a 30th in the first half of next year. St Louis City, of course, coming in 2023. 13,000 kids taking part in MLS Next. A new generation being brought through. Still the experienced stars have a role to play as well, although Chiellini currently watching on from the sidelines. No longer reliant on the big names brought in from Europe. They are making big names of their own these days. attendance records broken across the league this season as well. Over 10 million fans through the gates in MLS. Still, we're no nearer knowing which team will end it as champions. Whichever of them does lift the trophy relatively shortly now, you will have to feel for the other, because effectively there's been nothing between them all year, has there?
No, it's almost fitting, if it does go to penalties, that's the way of deciding it, simply because you know there's a lottery element to that. It's not really about who's been best on the day, who's won a tactical battle. Anybody can win or lose a penalty shootout. They've both been a credit to their conferences throughout the course of the season, certainly reflected the attitude of their own coaches. Distinctive, different styles, certainly. Equally as effective. That's been borne out by the figures, albeit the fact that Philadelphia have scored more goals. But you can make a case for either winning here today as well. Not easy to come from behind twice. LAFC have probably been slightly better in possession and creativity themselves, but you can't give up soft goals, and they have done.
Dozen minutes or so for these sides to be separated. And they're trying to pick the pass. This is Buanga Martinez with it. Buanga not giving it up. Baizo, though, belts it away. And that's Corey Burke to chase it. Has Murillo got enough on that?
Oh, that's just sending off. Wow.
Crepo racing off his line, caught Corey Burke. The referee reaching for his pocket. Both players are hurt. It's a yellow card for the keeper. Massive moment.
Huge. They were never getting there, and I think from Ismail El Fath saying, because the ball's gone so far away, it was the indication he seemed to make, but it looks immediately, but this, I mean, unfortunately, this looks a serious one as well. Yeah, there's the automatic indication that this will be a change. Oh, that looks a really painful one. We will not want to see this one again in slow motion, I don't think. Corey Burke, what a difference he's made. That physicality leading the line, it was always the favourite there. Well, as much as we like the entertainment, this is not something, and certainly not a way that you wish to see this final ending up. Possible serious injury. Amazing, the twists and turns.
And incredible as well that on in his place will come the Philadelphia-born former Union player John McCarthy, who's played once all season, and he is going to be on for the conclusion, possibly for penalties, against the side he represented in Major League Soccer between 2015 and 2018. It's another plot twist in this Hollywood blockbuster. But first, concern for both the players involved in that horrible collision.
Pace as well, they were both moving at Burke on the stretch. Neither player, the trouble is there when you're making that sort of challenge, you can't protect yourself. Calm persona inside, absolute turmoil going on there. What a moment to come into a game.
He sat unused on the bench 35 times this season as John McCarthy. And now with just minutes of extra time to play in MLS Cup against his former side, the club who released him at the end of 2018, he's going to be required. And he will have a huge part to play one way or the other. Corey Burke is back on his feet. Pulled off the bench, of course, earlier in the game. Just adding to the tension, the anxiety, the nerves. What must he be feeling right now? Well, it had to be mentally ready for this, won't he, John McCarthy, as he would have been every game this season, but I'm sure in his heart of hearts he would never have expected to feature today.
No, it's an easy thing to say, isn't it? But as a goalkeeper, you do those things, and the issue here is he's not just coming on for a no-lose situation of a penalty shootout, is he? You know, there's going to be maybe 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes, so there's likely that he's going to be called into action. There's two good professionals, and they're discussing where the game's got to. Not easy as well to have the break at this stage of the game. Obviously, nobody wants to see serious injury to the players either, and the care that they're getting is of paramount importance. But it's tough as well when you've got tired legs. This sort of break, got to switch the mind back on quickly. It's tough to switch the legs back on though as well.
Dos Santos there, one of the coaching staff now in his second spell actually as an assistant at LAFC, had that stint in charge at Vancouver in between, and all having their input, everybody having their say. Corey Burke is hobbling away, but looks like he might be okay to continue. But Maxim Crepeau, I think this is a very serious injury, which we won't be seeing again for obvious reasons.
Yeah, the reaction as soon as the medical team came on gave that information. Horrible that it has to end that way. You'll get the very best of care, but to do that this late in the season as well, horrible in the situation. Also, I mean, very interesting as well in terms of decision making from officials as well, because you know he's definitely bringing down a player who's going through on goal. Big decisions to be made. However horrible the injury is, you still have to apply the laws of the game.
Initially brandished the yellow card, but I think now it might be red. And for the LAFC players in particular, both sets of players to an extent, but to see an injury like that, to then have to immediately move on and focus on winning MLS Cup, it's easier said than done when you've just seen a teammate in a situation like that suffer an injury like that. This is so difficult all round in what was already such a pressurised situation.
And obviously LAFC, if it is going to be a dismissal, here we see that it's a horrible situation for an official to be in as well. He has to make that decision. He has to brandish that red card, which we now see. He's going to get a horrible reaction from the crowd. He's going to hate doing it himself, but if it's the right decision, it's the right decision. And now obviously LAFC have to make a change themselves to enable a substitution to take place too. So then you're talking about that tactical element. You're talking about the lineup of your penalty takers as well. I've got to say my initial reaction, regardless of the injury, is that it had to be a red card.
Good to see Maxim Crepeau sitting up at least on the stretcher. But he has been sent off, and rather than it go to video review, our understanding is that the assistant referee had his input after Ismail Elfaf had initially showed that yellow, and that is why, after a consultation between the two of them, it is a straight red card. And it's awful. Also an awful injury for the Canadian keeper.
Just a little touch of hands, Corey Burke there as well, and it was an accident completely. Just horrible to see professional players in that situation.
He would have been thinking about that possible penalty shootout. He's not able to play any part in it. They will have to sacrifice someone, of course, to make the substitution and get John McCarthy on in goal. We think it's a Poku.
Yeah, and there's also a set piece that's going to be in a really dangerous situation. First input.
It is the substitute who has been substituted. McCarthy on for Opoku, and yeah, this Philly free kick to face first.
It didn't really feel like the foul took place where that free kick's been taken from
That's a very good point, actually.
Not sure it gives an advantage, really, that extra bit of angle.
Elliott straight at the wall. They go from similar sort of range, didn't he? Very early in the game. No greater reward this time.
I mean, you just don't see it. And just, I said first time round, centre-backs, it's not a natural thing. Just don't see it at all. You've got a brilliant technician there in Kai Wagner. It's definitely set up for an angle for him. Jack Elliott's hit halfway up the wall, both attempts.
Something of a waste in the circumstances. There will, of course, be plenty of time to add on after we reach the 120 minutes because of that injury. Martinez will keep it in. Philadelphia will keep plenty forward, you would imagine, now with the extra player. McCarthy made just the one appearance in the regular season, the 2-0 defeat at Colorado in May. He actually let in 2 penalties in that game. They will have a shootout to face if it gets that far against his former club.
I would say as well, it gives a little psychological advantage that he can play on with ex-teammates, knowing that he might just know something about them. He should definitely play on that. Feels like, as long as he gets to that point, does feel like a no-lose situation.
So there'll be plenty to add on. The word we're getting from the touchline is there will be 8 more minutes once we reach 120. Not sure that Corey Burke's going to be able to continue looking at this. He was the other player, of course, involved in that collision with Crepo.
Yes, as much as you don't want to feel or think about what that collision was like, it's understandable that it would have been pretty significant. He certainly played his part, added a physicality that certainly helped Philadelphia.
His replacement is going to be Chris Donovan. In his first season in MLS, only ever started 1 game in this league. 5 times off the bench in the regular season, a playoff debut here. He was actually only brought into their MLS squad over the course of the summer after impressing with the Union's reserve side in MLS Next Pro this season. Previously drafted but not signed by the Columbus Crew. He's on in MLS Cup.
With the penalties looming as well. I mean, so many different scripts, impossible to make the predictions as well, but there's so many potential storylines come absolutely out of nowhere.
It is an astonishing story that's being scripted here, that's unfolding here. With still the final chapter as yet unknown. On comes Donovan for Burke. Another substitute is substituted. Will extend the added time even further. About 9 more minutes before penalties. Philadelphia, I think, of the 2 teams will fancy winning it before then, if they can make that extra player count. They are the ones that have that little bit more momentum, maybe. Olivia Baizo with the throw. Turned into traffic, followed through a little bit.
Ireland could see that challenge coming, rode it comfortably. Finesse is the brave option here. Pragmatic thing, put the ball into the danger area, play on nerves. Certainly Philadelphia finishing stronger. Can they just find themselves a decisive moment.
Right by Zo, he was looking for Carranza. There were a couple of others arriving beyond him. In blue as well, it's turned behind for the corner.
That's what I talk about, the nerves there. Get that little extra pass in and then put the ball into a dangerous area. Big stretch going in from Ibiaga, who certainly felt it as well. Those calves tightening up, cramps setting in.
Corner kick to face. The Union looking to test out their former favourite John McCarthy. In swinger towards the goalkeeper, who got gloves to it, didn't collect it. Back by Paxton Aronson. Gareth Bale defending his own box, and again as he hucks it away. Bizo having asked the questions there. Another really good ball in. Oh, wonderful save, but it's turned in. It's Jack Elliott again to force it in for Philadelphia. Astonishing. It's the Union that might just have their Hollywood ending. 3-2 Philadelphia.
What a save he's made as well. Jack Elliott, I mean, he certainly shouldn't be taking set pieces, but he's a threat. Oh, it's mayhem. Mayhem in Philadelphia. It's great delivery. All the bodies going in there. Goalkeeper gets away with the first one. I like the fact that he's committed to it. Bale makes a couple of clearances, but they can't clear the box completely. Then this ball going in. The first save is absolutely great. I think going to his left-hand side. That's a brilliant save. And a poaching centre-back, hard to come by. Centre-backs relish tap-ins, and they certainly relish tap-ins in cup finals. Surely Philadelphia, for the first time, are going to be lifting MLS Cup.
Jack Elliott scored twice all season from centre-back. He scored twice in MLS Cup. Jim Curtin's team are moments away from history, from the realisation of over a decade of hard work. The perennial underdogs. Aside from the blue-collar city, how they love an underdog story. But now, all of a sudden, in these final few minutes, they're the favourites. You couldn't quite write anything off given how this game has gone. But surely, the Union are almost there. An incredible achievement. Club really that has set the standards, how to do it on a budget. They haven't quite done it yet though. This is Buanga, and it carries through to Andre Blake. Grateful to grab it and will hold on to it for as long as he is possibly permitted.
Goalkeeping, the ball moves a little bit in the air as well. Doesn't expect to get beaten from there, but the little bouncing ball as well, gathered safely.
They said the role of hero was there to be assumed. It looks like it may well be Jack Elliott, the London-born centre-back. After a 4-year college career at West Virginia, was selected 77th in the 4th round of the 2017 Super Draft. Went on to be nominated as Rookie of the Year in his first year, and now he may well have provided the goals that deliver MLS Cup to Philadelphia for the very first time. They will take as long as they can here. Their job is almost done.
Jim Curtin indicating he thinks it's about 4 minutes, could be any number really. Seems to have gone on forever. Desperate for possession of the ball. That looked like a foul. Get in the corner. Yeah, definitely looked like a foul before. Wow, what a story. What an unbelievable story. A shame Bedoya can't have been a part of it on the pitch.
He surely will be the one to lift the trophy.
Certainly should be.
There is still a little bit of work yet to see it through.
He's been excellent, Bizo at right back. Strong. Looks like he could play another 120 minutes. Concentration levels, so important now.
So again, coming under pressure but coming away with the ball. Philadelphia coming into this league in 2010. They never won a playoff match until 2019. There's Gareth Bale! Astonishing! Gareth Bale off the bench on the fringes of LAFC season into centre stage, writing his own scripts in MLS Cup, and just maybe we will have penalties after all. He picks his moments.
It's why you sign superstars. It's why they become superstars, because they find a way in the biggest of moments to write themselves into history. All the games he's played, the quality he's had, the international stage, where has that come from? It's about his third touch coming on. He's been on the pitch for half an hour or so, seen nothing. It's a lovely ball. He's always had that aerial prowess. Oh, Philadelphia, what have you done? Andre Blake full stretch again. It's a great leap. Look at the reaction on those terraces, and from teammates who thought they were dead and buried. And I hope, beyond all hopes, that Crepeau is aware of what's going on as well from his teammates.
Here come the Union at the other end, almost broke for Gazdag. Well, we said it was a fitting final. The top two teams in this league going toe to toe, and they are serving up a contest for the ages. We said they would make memories. So many twists and turns. It's been an incredible story.
And they've got a corner to defend as well. It is so tough to get over a finishing line.
Well, who could possibly predict what will come next? You would write nothing out of the equation.
Jack Elliott hat-trick, of course it's going to end that way.
It's as likely as any scenario right now in this remarkable MLS Cup final, which may yet still be settled by the shootout. We're playing on actually now only at the referee's discretion. We've had the 9 added minutes of extra time. There'll be a little longer yet. 3-3. Brilliant, breathless, bonkers at times.
Yeah, don't want this overflowing. Conduct not great from supporters in that corner. Don't need to see it. Game's been too good. The managers themselves, the coaches have been too good. The players, the spirit of the players has generally been good. It's what makes for a great atmosphere. Proximity of those fans. It can't overflow.
There's the corner then, and it's Gareth Bale back defending his own box. A header equally as important maybe as the one at the other end. So, still, they can't be separated. Level on points they finished in the regular season. 3 straight draws before today. 3-3 it has finished here, just as it did in that remarkable game of March of 2020. Every bit as remarkable, more so today, given that this is MLS Cup. This is the chance to make history, and both teams now will need to regroup, try and compose themselves and prepare for penalties, because Gareth Bale has had the final say in the scoring at the end of extra time for the 10 players of LAFC, and it goes to the shootout. MLS Cup will be decided from the spot for the 2nd straight season. The Union did win their last penalty shootout in the playoffs last season. They beat Nashville in the conference semi-finals. They'd lost the previous 3 in the US Open Cup. LAFC, in their relatively short history, they've never won a penalty shootout. Lost at Houston in the Open Cup semi-final in 2018. They lost to Orlando at MLS's back in 2020. And the only two players to have taken a penalty for them this season, Carlos Vela and Cristian Arango, neither of whom are still on the field. Cristian Teo will take the first one.
That's massive.
It all comes down to nerve. Teo brought in from Real Betis in the summer.
Do not change your mind.
It's the first one for Andre Blake to face. Standout performer all season long. Saved 8 penalties in his MLS career. Conceded 4 of 5 in the regular season this year. This is a long wait for Teo.
I would try everything as a goalkeeper here. Push the limits as much as you can. Win that psychological war.
Here we go then, the start of the shootout. MLS Cup 2022 to be determined from the spot as it was in 2021. Cristian Teo, saved by Blake. A comfortable stop for the captain. Advantage Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a soft one. He tried to go off his movement, didn't read it at all. Blake gets himself set and it's solid, and when you're diving forward, it's not a good sign. Going across the body, never sure about the side foot that way. The whip to the other corner, at least you've got pace on the ball. LAFC up against it already.
Their first kick to be taken by Daniel Gazdag, the top scorer. Their first goal scorer in the final earlier this afternoon against John McCarthy. 3 years he had with the Union. His first season at LAFC as the backup on the bench, needs to take centre stage here. And Gazdag's blazed it over the bar, slipped as he struck it. And it's a full stop for both teams from the spot.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. Surprised, the turf looks perfect here. What does he do? Plants it too strongly. Wow, what a moment.
You have to feel for Daniel Gazdag after that. So effectively, we start all over again, really. Duanga next up. A statement signing in the summer as a designated player. He has proved a big player for the big occasion. Right at the end of the season, Denny Duanga opens the scoring in the shootout emphatically.
Simplicity is genius. Put your foot through the ball. Doesn't really go that wide, but there's great pace on the ball. Blake going to his right the correct way. Really stringent, the officials on leaving, the goalkeepers leaving their line as well. You see the referee's assistant alongside, and that definitely is in the mind of the goalkeepers as to what they can and can't do then. Horribly, you make that save and it has to go back because you've left your line early. Have to be touching the line as well as the ball is struck.
Martinez against McCarthy, who has never saved an MLS penalty. Conceded all 10 that he's faced previously. Martinez checks the run-up. McCarthy saves that one. And it is he who assumes centre stage. A son of Philadelphia. John McCarthy denies the Union, denies Jose Martinez.
And it's relatively comfortable. You talk about a good height, that's where you choose to make those saves. Going to his right-hand side, doesn't have to stretch.
Ryan Hollingshead is next up, and Ryan Hollingshead scores coolly. Blake dived out of the way of that one. LAFC certainly have the edge.
Good experience. Banking on the goalkeeper diving. looks easy once it hits the back of the net. Never is. He's a good technician. I'd expect this one to be struck sweetly. Huge advantage.
Stepping up to the spot. Defender of the Year nominee, made the MLS Best 11. Can he keep his cool here? Oh, it's saved again by McCarthy. Off the bench, out of the shadows, into the spotlight. John McCarthy, the hero. LAFC on the brink of glory.
Step forward, Gareth Bale, what do we think? Great save again. Proves it can go both ways. We knew the story was brewing. Which way would it go? Would that psychological edge be there? Knowing the players, knowing the ex-teammates. Oh, so harsh. It's where the game's so cruel. What a moment. LAFC history. Is it about to be written? Not the worst man to be writing their names into the history books. Consummate professional.
Ilya Sanchez, this to win it. Ilya scores! Squeezes it beyond Andre Blake. LAFC do get their Hollywood ending after all. The trophy is heading to Tinseltown, and they start the celebrations. It was an epic. It had twist after twist, but the final kick delivered consummately from the boot of the Spaniard from the spot. And this is LAFC's day. The Union, this band of brothers with the unbreakable bond, who represented their city with such spirit, are finally beaten from the penalty spot and thwarted by one of their own. Ilya with the winning kick, but John McCarthy, Philadelphia-born John McCarthy, with those two saves in a game that he was expecting to play no part in, is ultimately the match winner. And 2 goals from centre-back for Jack Elliott is not enough to spare him and his side the pain of defeat, falling finally at the very last hurdle. LAFC do the double. The Supporters' Shield winners are MLS Cup champions. And this is the moment where they sealed their success. An incredible final, Matt Jackson.
It's a great final. Technical penalty. Goes immediately over to McCarthy. Look at the delight from the teammates. The delight on those terraces. They never gave up on their team, despite getting pegged back continually. Looks like they're going to lose, and it's one of those finals that once you've won it, you love the emotional roller coaster that you've been through. Be devastated for Philadelphia. It's to be discussed another time, but you look at what they've produced and Jim Curtin and the success that he's had. Does that come to an end at this point? Does the team change at all? But it's all about LAFC. It's all about the celebrations which can go on here. The delight of those that have played such a big part in the season, if not necessarily like Arango there in today's game. Absolute scenes.
Their 5th season in Major League Soccer, and they have reached the top of the pile. They all rescued it right at the end of extra time, and it is LAFC who win it on penalties. The trophy presentation to come. It's finished here though. LAFC 3, the Philadelphia Union 3. 3-0 to the home team in the shootout. What an incredible conclusion to the MLS season we've seen unfold at Bank of California Stadium, where it is LAFC about to get their hands on the trophy, despite going behind 4 minutes into added time at the end of extra time. And yet there was still time for Gareth Bale to come up with the equaliser, to force penalties, 2 of which were saved by John McCarthy against his former club. An embrace from his former coach, despite Jim Curtin really going through all of the emotions right now. I mean, it was a final match action that was barely believable at the end and had a little bit of everything.
Just incredible. We talked about who might be brave enough to win it, the big moments, the heroes that come from it, the storylines that come from it. Obviously spare a thought for Maxime Crepeau, who looks like he's going to have to recover from a real serious injury and then ironically serve a suspension off the back of, that's madness, isn't it? But I mean, it just shows the twists and turns, and to write the scripts, you couldn't make it up in that regard. Touch of class there from Jim Curtin, who's conducted himself brilliantly throughout. Thought both coaches were excellent, generally both sets of players really good as well. And it's horrible that there has to be a loser, and it won't help Philadelphia in these circumstances. But the only thing is the lottery of a penalty shootout. You haven't been bested on the day apart from that situation.
Well, we said it was going to be difficult to split them. We didn't quite think it would be as difficult as it was. Although ultimately the frustration for Philadelphia failing to score any of their 3 penalties after Bale had broken their hearts right at the end of extra time.
And then you could, you guys got...
They're about to get their hands on the Philip F. Anschutz Trophy in front of their own fans. The club first awarded an MLS franchise in October of 2014, just 3 days after Chivas USA were dissolved, a former franchise in California. They were named in September of 2015. The black and gold colours unveiled in January of 2016. Carlos Vela signed in the summer of 2017. They didn't play their first MLS game until the 2018 season. They won the Supporters' Shield in 2019. They reached the Champions League final in 2020. They missed the playoffs in 2021.
How we doing,
Now
Los Angeles?
They are champions. Let's have a listen in to the presentation ceremony.
How we doing, Los Angeles? I think it's pretty safe to say that we just saw the greatest game in MLS history. It is time now for me to introduce MLS Commissioner Don Garber to present this wonderful trophy to the newest champion in Los Angeles, LAFC.
Thank you, Stuart. No doubt this was Major League Soccer at its very best. The 2 top seeds meeting for the first time in 20 years, creating the greatest game that we've had in our history. So, Stuart, a shout out to the 3-2-5-2. You brought it every single week, creating an environment that is unparalleled in professional sports. And I want to really give a shout out to the Philadelphia Union, their ownership group, to the Sons of Ben. Really, they built something they can be very proud of in their city, one of the great soccer and sports cities in our country. Larry, to your partners, to everybody that's associated with this club, this is a great season, a record-setting season, and you've culminated in front of this environment that showed the world everything that MLS can be when it's at its very best. So, Larry, it's my pleasure to present the Philip A. Anschutz Trophy to you, and you will present it to your captain, Carlos Vela.
So MLS Commissioner Don Garber handing over the silverware to owner Larry Burke. And now it's in the hands of the captain, Carlos Vela. The newest name on the trophy is that of LAFC. The day a dream came true in Los Angeles. They've been waiting to start these celebrations. Certainly moments over the course of an enthralling, captivating contest where it looked like it wasn't going to happen. But the dream has come true for LAFC. They've reached for the stars in LA, and they celebrate. The trophy stays in Tinseltown today. The 15th name on that trophy is that of Los Angeles FC, and it's lifted aloft by the face of the franchise. This was just a dream when Carlos Vela decided to quit his hugely successful career in Europe and build a home for himself in Los Angeles with the aim of building a football club, want to rival the 5-time champions from the Galaxy. And today is the day when all of that work is rewarded. Gareth Bale playing his part right at the end to force penalties. John McCarthy coming off the bench to make only his second MLS appearance for the club against his home city side and save 2 penalties. Remarkable stories wherever you look. Incredible twists throughout the game. As Don Garber put it, the greatest game in the history of MLS. Either team, I think, would have been a fitting winner in a final like this, after a season like this. But for the first time since 2017, the Supporters' Shield winners are also MLS Cup champions. This has been LAFC's season, but it went to the wire. They will savour, Matt Jackson, moments like this. Big ownership group, of course. There are 27 investors in this club, including Magic Johnson, front and centre in the celebrations as well. This means so much to so many in these parts.
Yes, it does, and they've made every home game an absolute entertainment product, haven't they? The fans certainly have played their part. They got the accolades there from Don Garber. They've been brilliant. The noise, they never gave up on their team today, despite at times it looking a very desperate situation, and they've been rewarded with an unbelievable story. Individual heroes, of course, but it's very much a team game, and Philadelphia have played their part as well, been excellent all season, superb from a professional point of view. Unfortunately, cup finals, the losers mean nothing.
Well, the banner says it all. Their job is done. What a ride it has been, and that is it. Congratulations to LAFC, MLS Cup champions 2022, after a dramatic and typically exciting post-season in Major League Soccer.